Hey there, welcome to the Healthy Vibes podcast. I'm Kelly Renato, and I thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. I hope to encourage you. I hope to make you think about something and maybe make a different choice this week if you think so. I want to talk today about how we bounce back, how we get back up, how we adjust when we need to in life, and how we keep going when life keeps throwing things at us. I sent an email this weekend to my newsletter group that I send to about pickleball and what it taught me about growth and adjustment this year. It's kind of funny, but it's so true. At the beginning of the year this year, I really wanted to get out of my comfort zone. I wanted to grow. I wanted to challenge myself in all different ways. But one of the ways was in my workouts. I had gotten really comfortable, I feel like, in the workouts I do every week. And just it fit in. It worked. I felt good. But I knew I needed to push myself just a little bit. And I've been wanting to get into like a pickleball or something different for a while. And we've been going with my family a couple times a week. We started at the beginning of the year, 2 to 3 times a week, and it was a whole lot of fun. I could tell it was challenging. I'm not super great, but I was improving because my kids are really good. But the crazy part, the funny part, the frustrating part was, as healthy as I think I am, I had several minor setbacks with pickleball. And more than the whole crew, of course. First, I kind of pulled one of my hamstring muscles. I think I strained it a little bit, nothing super serious. But I had to stop in the middle of playing and I had to adjust and figure out what was going on. I wasn't sure if it was a cramp but over the course of the week, I realized my glutes were really tight, my IT band was tight, and I hadn't been being intentional about foam rolling like I used to, because I've always had tight IT bands and glutes, and we all really do if we're working out and doing stuff. And so I just got intentional about, taking care of them, give them some TLC, stretching. Of course, I had to back off and rest a bit. But in like a week, it was probably about a week, I felt better. It was okay. It wasn't super serious. So we got back to the courts and I was proud of myself for adjusting and, not just giving up, which is easy to do in life when something knocks us down like that. We think, why am I doing this? I'm older. What was I thinking? So we got back to the court, and then within a week, it was my shoulder was really hurting. I could hardly lift my arm over my head, the whole 9 yards, like the day-to-day things that I usually do. Very, very frustrated. So again, I backed off, I rested, I was icing it, stretching, figuring out, taking some anti-inflammatories, turmeric, whatever I could do to help it soak, rub stuff on it. And then I also realized, I was like, I probably haven't been training like my back muscles as well as I have been, and stretching, same thing. Like we get imbalances in our muscle and our body heals if we let it. Everything that we have going on our body can help us heal. Yes, sometimes we might need help. Maybe we're deficient in something. Maybe our muscles are imbalanced. Maybe we need rest. Maybe we need electrolytes. Maybe we need fluids. Maybe we need stretching. There's things that we can do to help our body heal. So same thing with my shoulder. I took some rest with my shoulder. I didn't do my upper body for probably it was a week and a half. I started doing my, making sure I was strengthening my rear delts, my back, stretching, a whole combination. And again, it got better. And I knew I needed to adjust because I hadn't been doing a really good job of all of that. And I knew this, and I just kept doing what I was doing because it was working. But pickleball brought out my weaknesses, where I needed to strengthen, where I needed to pay attention, be a little more intentional. So I got back to the court. And then within a week or two, it was my heel, which we've all gone through that before. Not all of us, but I know, it's common, plantar fasciitis, where your heel just really, really hurts in the morning. It's super tender. We need to stretch our calves, stretch the bottom of our foot, maybe roll on a, ice bottle or a combination of things. And I was super frustrated because I got to the point, I've had it before, I've given it a little TLC and it was fine, but this time it wasn't going away. And I'm like, what gives here? Like, kind of laughing, kind of frustrated, but this was bad because, I was hobbling around. I'm like someone who prides myself on taking care of myself, and I was hobbling everywhere. So I knew what I needed. I needed new shoes. I'd been putting it off for a while. I just didn't feel like getting them. I didn't feel like buying them, whatever. I needed new shoes. That was first and foremost. Secondly, I walk around barefoot everywhere. I love being barefoot. And so in my house, I started wearing slides, shoes that had some support. And probably if you've been through this, you know all the things I'm telling you. Obviously, I was stretching. I was massaging my foot. I was doing all the things. I soaked it in Epsom salt. I was doing all the things and, balancing between sitting and standing. And either way, it's improved. I haven't gotten back to the court yet, but it's improved. And I'll wear my new shoes. But I started thinking, this is everything in life when we get out of our comfort zone. Our weaknesses are exposed. Like whenever we do something that we want to try that's new, we make ourselves uncomfortable, we share, what we're working on, we post about our business. Same thing with me. Every time I've, opened up more or shared more about my podcast or shared something else or tried something new or got in a room where I knew I was going to be uncomfortable. And you might not want to say weaknesses, but where we need to grow is highlighted. It shows up. It's big. And for me, physically, my body showed where I needed to take better care of myself, where I needed to recover better, where I needed to work on my imbalances, maybe my posture, maybe how I was taking care of myself, how I needed to do my weights better. It all surfaced. It all showed up. And I could have easily said, pickleball must not be for me. I'm too old for this. It's just not my thing. This is too hard. But I was having so much fun, not only with my family and my kids, for my kids to want to play with me, and they were helping me improve. It was just a lot of fun. It was getting me out of my house. It was getting me to do a different activity. I love competition. And so I just kept adjusting. So whatever it is, I hope that you get out of your comfort zone. I hope that this year, you're trying to grow as well, whether it's professionally, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, whatever it is, how you handle your finances, how you handle your friendships, your marriage, however you're trying to grow, you are going to hit things that knock you down, knock you back. It hits us all. And how we adjust, how we handle that, how we take our next step is huge. We all get knocked down, but don't stay there long. Don't stay there long and don't give up on whatever it is you're going after. And pickleball might be a very crazy example, foolish example, whatever you think of it. But to me, it's an important example of not only physically, because a lot of times this is when someone says, I want to start running again, or I want to start riding a bike again. Whenever you do something, especially, obviously, I don't like saying this, but the older we get, yes, it's going to be different than when you did it 30 years ago. It doesn't mean you can't do it, but you might have some adjustments to make that you didn't the last time you rode a bike, played tennis, jogged, swam, whatever it is. But if you take a pause, pay attention, make the adjustment, talk to whoever you need to, research if you don't know what to do, because a lot of times, no, we don't know what to do. Same with my daughter. She, when you're playing sports, you're going to feel different things that might not feel good. Stretching, recovering, rest is important. all of us in our workout routine, in our life, need to learn how to rest and recover. So maybe it's not the physical aspect, even socially, emotionally, maybe professionally, you're doing something new. Rest and recover is important for that too. Because when you do get out of your comfort zone and you're talking to more people each week, maybe you're reaching out to people to network, I was in a room this week and a committee I had signed up for that I wanted to be a part of. And I was nervous because it was a whole new group of people. It was something I had never done before, but it definitely helped me grow. It helped me realize things that I probably did need to work on. And I adjusted when I felt nervous, when I wasn't sure what to say. I just really leaned into it and thought, I can really learn from this. So in life, there's always going to be something that knocks us back. And sometimes it's not even when we're getting out of our comfort zone. Sometimes life just knocks us down. It really does. And I just want to tell you, the most important part about that is getting back up. I feel that life will knock you down. And it is easy to want to stay there, to want to just crawl back in your hole and not keep moving forward. Don't do that. Resilience, success, happiness, health, confidence, growth, everything comes from getting back up and keeping going. Don't let life keep you down. So it's okay to be knocked down. Don't feel like you failed. Don't feel like you've messed up. You probably need to rest. You probably need to take a break, recover, take care of yourself, adjust, talk to someone, prayer, gratitude, whatever it is that you need to do. But then keep going. Rest, get a good night's sleep, and get back up. It hits us all. And this is where people talk about grit, people talk about resilience, and to me, that is grit and resilience. Getting back up. What is my next best choice? Rest, to me, that is grit and resilience. Knowing when you're like, you know what? I'm a little overwhelmed. I'm really tired. I want to give up right now. I'm going to go home and rest. I'm going to take a night to rest, maybe a day or two, and then I'll be back at it. Then I'm going to decide what my next choice is. What you do next always matters. If you're hitting the wall, if you're feeling super challenged, if you feel like life keeps knocking you down, I want you to rest. It's not optional. You have to rest. You got to take a step back and decide how you're going to adjust and what your next step is. But you got to keep going. You got to take that next step. Don't stay down too long. And this is where perspective matters. A lot of times we get knocked down and we think, oh, that's it. I'm not made for this. I shouldn't be doing this. But we can't give up when the bumps show up. That temporary discomfort, don't let it convince you that you're incapable of moving forward. Just take those moments, learn from them, take that perspective of what can I do next? What is my next best choice right now? And that's where rest and backing off, taking a break, getting some quiet time, clarity, time with God helps you change your perspective, change your mindset, know that you are capable, and figure out what your next step is. But don't quit. Growth isn't about avoiding setbacks. It's about refusing to let them stop you. Don't let them stop you. We all get knocked down. It's not just you. It's not just you. We all get knocked down, but what we do next matters. It really matters. So don't stay down too long. But rest is not optional. So take a break, rest, take some deep breaths. Make sure you get intentional and take good care of yourself. So for me, when I think about the pickleball situation, when I think about when I went through a little bit of depression after my second child was born, postpartum. When I think about when I got shingles, life was knocking me down. And I take good care of myself, but I needed to reassess what my routine was because I wasn't doing the best that I could. I was taking care of myself, but there were some areas where I had kind of slacked off, and I knew that. So I rested. I reassessed. I took some time, quiet time with God. Got outside, sunlight, fresh air. I took short walks in my yard, drink water, eat real food, exercise, talk to people I trusted, pray, journaled. I gave myself permission to pause. But then I said, what's my next step? How am I going to get back up and keep moving forward? And it might take time, but that next step matters. Don't stay down too long. So don't let the setbacks, the challenges, the struggles, don't let however life is challenging you and knocking you down, keep you down. Most importantly, rest and then decide what your next step is and get back up and keep going. Because it's not just you, and that's where resilience comes in. So take care of yourself, though. Sometimes I think when life keeps knocking us down, we aren't taking care of ourselves. We aren't resting. We aren't setting boundaries where needed. We're not saying no when needed. We're not spending enough time with God. We're not spending enough quiet time. We're not, pausing and letting ourselves, take a break and rest and recover. So just assess this week where you can take better care of yourself. What choices maybe you're not making that you need to make. And then assess, adjust, and make that next best choice. And if you're not sure what to do, reach out to me, kelly@renato.com. I'd love to hear from you. So just think this week where you can take better care of yourself, where you need to rest, and then what your next best choice is. Don't stay down. Don't let life keep you down. Rest, get back up, next best choice. So I hope you have a great week. I'd love to hear from you. Share this with anyone you know that has something that's setting them back, knocking them down, that they're challenging them. So they know that we all go through it and they need to rest, reassess, adjust, and just take that next best step, whatever it is, one step at a time. Take care and have the best week. Thanks.